Isn't it about time I finished the kit? Because all my videos, I don't think I've actually finished anything. So, with the S109 is simply waiting final decals and weathering. Let's get that done. So the one part of the decals I know you're dying to see, I am too, is the what do you call it, the tulip around the nose. I'm told from other videos I've watched, not told, but I've seen, they possibly don't fit too well, but we'll give it a go, and we got enough stuff to melt them around any corners and stuff. So let's go. Right, the setup. So what I've got is a wee plastic pot of water. This is a makeup brush. I'll use this for putting any decal solutions on, and just actually I use it to work the decals because it's easy to move them around with that. The other thing, which seems to have vanished, because it's here, I had it ready. That's why I couldn't find it, because I had it ready. Decent pair of scissors. You can use an X-Acto knife to, cut these smaller ones out. I find that a little bit clunky, to be fair, and you've only got one slip and you've gone through the decal behind it. Sometimes you have to. So I'm going to set up for the first petal of the tulip, and we'll take it from there. Remember what I just said about cutting decals out with a scalpel blade? Turns out that the first one I'm going to do, which is the one that goes there, is this one here, number 45. So what shall I do is I shall get my metal ruler. Huzzah. And make sure you can actually see me doing this. Huzzoo. And we shall cut this. Get this cut out. So metal ruler, mind your fingers. I don't need to tell you that, really, do I? We're all adults here. Steady, 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 steady. You still with me? I'm having to sort of move away from where I put the camera to see this. There we go. There it is. So, how's the weather where you are? It's cloudy again where I am. Good old British summertime, don't you just love it? Well, you should do, because the weather's rubbish. I'm in here doing this and making these videos for you to watch. rather than other projects I've got on the go to involve me going outside. So that's been cut through. It should just pop out. Of course it doesn't. But now I've used a ruler, it's kind of almost like scribing an aircraft. Now I've got a line I can just freehand down it, pop. She comes now, it's not quite gone through. This is an older blade, and we're free. Put that back. So what you may notice is what I tend to do is when I cut, especially on a sheet this size, there are a lot of decals on there and a lot of little numbers, and it's not like the old days. You would just, for a kit this size, you get that, a couple of fuselage markings, and you're done. You wouldn't get any of these stencils. So what I've done, if I focus on what I always like to do, is when I cut a decal out, I will keep the number with it, so I know exactly what I've cut out, what I haven't cut out. So we can bung that in there to soak. That's soaking. So decal solutions. Some people say you don't need them. Some people say you do. I use them because I've got them. I've never had a bad deal with decals, except some really old Rebel ones, and they were just unbelievable. But less said about that, the better. It was a long time ago. So here's, you've probably all seen this micro set. That's probably my go-to, and because it comes in a handy jar, which is incredibly stable and will not tip over when you're using it in any way, shape or form. What I'll do is little bottle top, pop the lid, a couple of drops in there, lid straight back on, back she goes out the way. So I've got me micro set. I've also used Mr. Mark. I've heard good things about this. This is can be a bit harsh, apparently, but I've never had any problems with it. And you do need to really shake it up as well, because you can see it's got it's kind of separated. That's how often I use this stuff. And then the other Mr. Mark is Mr. Mark Softer Neo, which apparently is super melter. And then I've got, okay, here's your micro son. I've just noticed I've busted the lid on this, so I do need to be careful with this. I'll replace that lid. I've had this happen a few times. Oh great, I don't know if you can see that, but part of that lid in there has just turned to powder and fell into the, I don't know if you can see it, so there's little white bits. They were just on the inside of that, the part of the lid, and it just turned to like crusty stuff, and I was replacing that wanter. You see, here's the thing. I'll put that there, go do something else, come back, reach for something, and we're all over the table. And that would make me sad. But my motto is never throw nothing away. Don't know if you see that. So there we have an empty. It's even the same one. So I'll just lift the lid off that. pop it on this one, and we're all back to normal. So we've got our marker set, we've got our decal, we've got our kit, nicely glossed as well, I might add. Some people say you should, some people say you can not bother. The paint I've used on this mostly is glossy to start with. In fact, I haven't glossed this ever. I'm telling you, porkies, this is the actual finish of the paint. It will want a matte coat over it. The white tail was actually gloss paint, white gloss, because that was the only white I had at the time that I could use. Underneath it's got a bit of a sheen on it, which should be okay. It's nice and smooth. So, time for the real business. To get the decal out of this pot, I just use these. I just pick up the backing paper with these. I don't know if this is gone yet. The numbers loose. Yeah, that's perfectly slider. So I take a little bit of this stuff, just brush it on. Slide the paper out like you're meant to. There we go. That's not where it's going to stop. No, there's no use trying to talk to you while I've got that brush in my mouth. I do have to concentrate on this, so you just bear with me. The other thing is that the way I've made this is that obviously I can take the propeller off there. So that gives me a bit of room. So that's on. I'm looking at the. Yeah, this is going to be. I've got the point because I can still see where the centre join is. So I've got the point exactly on that. Alright then, I'm going to fettle this a bit. So I'll be back in a moment. So this is where I'd like it to be. So now I take a cotton bud and very, very gently yeah, that's going to need some more solution on it. It's not quite conforming, as you can see. There's kind of a fold around the edges. I need to sort that out, otherwise it's not really going to work. Right, I'm going to break out the micro sole. Just before I do that, what I've done is I put the set in this lid, which is a different colour. This is a red that matches the micro sole. I really need to find the blue lid for the micro set, and then they'd be all colour coordinated. But same as I did before, a few drops of this to this top. Yeah, that'll be enough. Lid safely back on, and we put it out of the way. Super. So I'm going to just use the same brush. Let's put a bit of this in there. Let's get it under there. Give it a proper dicing. Now, as I understand it, this will partially melt the decal. I've seen them where they all crinkle up. They look like you've ruined them. All it's doing is it faintly melts it. You get those crinkles, but then it dries and pulls down really tight onto your kit. But as it's happening, as it's doing that process, as I say, it really looks like you've ruined it. But it does come good. I can smell that you can't because you ain't got smelly vision. It's not been invented yet. But ooh, yeah, that's very soft. That could have just caused me a problem there. Back you go, back you go. Thank you. I do want to try and move this a little bit. It's not quite lined up. But you got to watch it. If you do that, you run the risk of the decal sticking to your finger, especially if it's really beginning to soften. For 2 pins, I would have painted this on. Except it's got this white border, and then in between that there's a very small, and I mean small, yellow border. I don't even know if you can, looking at my phone screen. Right, it seems that's melting in. It almost looks like I took a chunk out of it. So that's good. I mean, these are, let me just check the box. I think they are cartograph. Yeah, so they're going to be fantastic. Yeah, the box has a little cartograph logo on it. So yeah, these are going to be absolutely fantastic decals. I mean, this is beginning to sort itself out already. I keep seeing little white bits. I'm getting a bit worried. I'm nicking pieces off or breaking pieces off with this stuff. Okay, so that's the basic decaling rig that I use. And that's how I do it. And so I have 1 or 2 more to get on. 41, 51, 40, 52. I have 50, I'll put one on. So I have 51 decals to sort out. Although some of those might be on a bomb. It does say bomb, so I'm assuming it's on the bomb. So let's call it 50. I've got 50 of these to pop on. So I'll get on with it. So that's all the decals on, or as many as I, there's a few I haven't put on, a few really tiny ones, which are mainly, there are little tabs on here that should have little red outlines on them, which look like they were too big anyway. And the problem with that is that the tab on the tail, you can just make it out there. On that side I rubbed it off. It just looks like it's shouldn't be there. So I left that. We're going to see them. A lot of all those little smaller stencils. Can you see them? Not from this range. So the known issues, as I said previously, these things are too big in a nutshell. I've had to blast them with setting solution to get them anything like the crinkler. They don't quite fit. They go over the exhaust. I'll just take that off. That's still wet. Why is that still wet? Oh, come on, focus. You got one job. course, when it's close up like this, it does look a lot worse. It does want a little bit more work on it. You may also be noticing that the canopy's gone. More on that later. That's fixable. As I said before, if it wasn't for the white outline, I probably would have painted them on. The only way I can see of somehow fixing this is to cut a piece off and move them forwards, but that's going to mess up the white outline. So you're kind of stuck. Doesn't look too bad from the front, to be fair. It doesn't look too bad from sort of this distance away, if I'm honest. And the other thing is, it was kind of a big selling point for me of buying this kit, that nose paint job. Decals went on absolutely fantastic. They're simply too big. I made some notes as I was doing this. Now, the next potential issue is that these walkway decals, I don't know if you can see them, on the instructions, you put them there and there. As you can see, someone's written too long, and these are. So what I did, I moved these two decals further back to the bottom of the what is that, radiator flap, I do believe, split flap. And even so, that goes all the way along there and still wraps around. I'm going to trim that off, sort that out. But there's some writing on there that I believe should be about there. There's also some writing there that's no good, which is, it's upside down from this view, and I'm sure it should be the other way. So if you were behind the plane, you'd be reading it. I don't know whether that's true or not, to be fair, but it just looks a bit strange to me, being upside down if you were standing outside the plane, because obviously it's only for the pilot to see. The writing's facing outwards, as it were. That one's facing inwards. So that's that. That's the second. The other issue is, it's a minor issue. The tail. These victory bars on the tail, and the instructions, they're misnumbered. They are handed. You can see there's 3 bars underneath. Should be going inwards. If you put 42 on, those bars would be at the other end. 42 is actually, where are you? That is decal 42, labelled 50. And that is decal 50, labelled 42. Not a big deal. If you did mix them up, you wouldn't even know, I don't think. So that's that. And as I say, these, they went on beautifully. They went on really nice. No trouble to put on at all. They were just, in places, too long or too short or too wide. And look at all these lovely teensy, they're tiny teensy things there. I didn't put them on the other side. I just couldn't be bothered. There's the numbers up there. There's little first aid. There's this little thing on the cross that says, come on, focus, baby. WA is on there. There's various stencils, work number, tailplane incidents guide. It's all good, but blimey, is it a ball ache to put on. There's no words for it. So, the missing canopy. I had most of my canopy down and I've lost it. I masked it down with this. Used it quite a lot before. Works nice, does the job. The problem I had, what have I done with that? Bear with me. Just 3 straws on this lovely 109 for 2 minutes. Oh boy. Hang on a sec. Found it. Yeah, the masking. I noticed a couple of times when I touched, it was kind of soft and gungy. It was like it was kind of a thick layer of some sort of grease, and it had all kind of stuck. I could not get it off. I tried turbs, I tried all sorts of things to clean this. It's that's the state of it, which is a shame. But credit to airfix. You do get four canopies with this kit. I mean, that's how shiny that one there just started. So I don't know what's happened. I don't think I put any sort of gloss coat over the top, which could have affected this. It may be it's simply been on too long, maybe even been in the sun, I don't know, and it's affected it. But on that note, I would definitely say do not leave this on a kit longer than 2 to 3 days. Otherwise you could get trouble. It's never done that before though. I have left that stuff on for quite a while. So the problem I've got is I don't know what caused that. So I don't know how to deal with it. But anyway, I think not leaving it on for a couple of weeks might be a start. Right, so there we are. So I've got to just take that off, replace it with one of these lovely ones there, paint it up, sort this out, bit of weathering, and then this should be done, he says.